Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with the Masters. This is part 2 of a series on where we'll be discussing the topic of receiving. Everyone on this call is an enlightened master who agrees to participate in this conversation and share their wisdom and experiences around this topic. Our intention with these conversations is to look at these topics from a higher perspective. You can seek out most of these masters participating in these calls. They all have unique gifts. Some of them offer their services. Please look them up so you'll learn more about them. They are identified, including their websites, in the comment section below. As stated, today we will continue to discuss what it means to receive and how we can become masters at receiving. So let's get started. As noted on part 1, many of us are quite adept at giving, but generally not as adept at receiving. I've noticed those even coming from a non-spiritual area have, as well as those coming from a spiritual area, also struggle sometimes with receiving. So let's talk about it again. So how to receive? What does it mean to receive? What are some of the ways that you've learned to receive? What are some ways that we might suggest other people might strengthen that muscle? We might talk about some of your affirmations you use. So I'm just going to open up. And
I don't mind jumping in first on this one. I don't know if this was mentioned last time or not, but it came to me just in the last couple of days. One of the big things about receiving is asking. And I've learned that in the last couple of days is that, and it's what you've literally just said, Sandy. It's that, why do we feel so uncomfortable asking? But ask and you shall receive. And I've experienced that in the last couple of days on a very practical, like 3D level, if I could say it like that. We are without water, and we have been without water, and we're not going to get water until the end of the week. And the thought of asking people if I can have a shower around at their house. And I'm going to a meditation tomorrow, and I literally just asked my friend who's hosting it. I said, can I come an hour early and have a shower? And there was humiliation, there was despair, there was all these emotions coming up within me. And yet if somebody in my situation asked me that when I had water, it's nothing, is it? It's nothing to give a shower to a friend. And my son is going to one of our friends' house at the end of the week. And I said to him, I'll ask her if you can go early and have a shower. And he's mortified. But I'm like, why? Why is that so bad? Because I don't think anyone would you mind if a friend came round and said, can I come an hour early? You'd be so happy that you would be able to do that for them, wouldn't you? And yet I was like, wow. I mean, I have asked, because I'm a master at receiving, but I had to go through some emotions to get there. I thought that was quite interesting. I did say it was very 3D.
No, I think that's perfect. I think that's perfect, because you're right. It's like we're so happy and we're so ready to give. That asking is so hard sometimes for it. And even in the most basic, simplest things with water, obviously something that we need. On the other hand, there's probably going to be people that are listening that will say, well, I've been asking for such and such forever. I've been asking for my divine playmate. I've been asking for $1 million. I've been asking for, why am I not receiving that?
Yeah, I might.
Go ahead.
Melissa, would you like to go ahead?
Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Our thoughts creates our emotions. During the process of waiting, after asking, maybe we will manifest right away. Maybe we will manifest a couple of weeks later, maybe a couple of months later, maybe a couple of years later. So this is an unknown period of time. So during that time, what position you are going to be holding? Are you going to play a victim position, or you are going to play a winner position? So most of us, because we don't get our receiving delivered to us, because we often go back to our victim position. So victim positions provides lower vibration and different frequency that totally different from what we are asking for. So that's why most of us, we don't get our prayers to answer. And most of us, we don't get to manifest our desires.
So
One day,
yeah, I was thinking
Go
about
ahead.
the example you used last week where you talked about the floor. So like if you're operating on, and I'm paraphrasing you, if you're operating on floor 1, but your higher vibration is floor 7, then you're not going to get floor 7 if you're acting like floor 1.
yeah, universe is rich. This universe have enough bricks to build a beautiful house for everyone. So all you need to do is to find the bricks at the right place, 7th floor. Same thing if you are asking help from the spiritual realm or angelic realms. They vibrate higher than us. They love to help us, but in order for us to receive help from them, we need to match their vibration level. At least we need to get close to them. Imagine a staircase. You are on the bottom of the step, and they're on the top. They want to help you, but your vibration is so dense, they cannot really help us. So we need to a little bit loosen up a little bit. That's by taking 3 deep breaths to help us to loosen up a little bit. I asked counsel a year ago, maybe more than a year ago, because the counsel was talking about, and was if I'm asking help
Hey, Ahmet, I'm going to ask you, Ahmet, you said you asked counsel a year ago. Will you start from that place? Because you broke up a little bit, and I don't think any of us want to miss what you're saying. So you said you asked counsel a year ago, and yeah, thanks.
Yeah, maybe more than a year ago, counsel was talking about how powerful beings we are and claiming our power, and then don't give our power away. That was a great topic. So I had a question, and I got lucky, and suddenly I found myself talking to the council. I asked angelic beings or me my power away. I'm not good at fast that, so I need another beings to help me. Am I giving my power away? And the council's answer was so profound. He said, no, actually, that's kind of claiming your power, because they are extension of you. They are you, you are them. So that was great. So in the process of receiving, when we are on hold and waiting, so that would be great to ask help from the spiritual realm or angelic realms. So they love to help us. So they're ready to help us.
So in addition to asking, like Deborah said, asking, in any level, from the 3D level or the angel realm or angelic realm, ask.
Absolutely.
And then you said we need to vibrate or be in the density of that as well, right? To receive?
Absolutely. Yeah. First, probably you ask the universe about your about a desire, specific desire. Mm-hmm. It can be like a spiritual accomplishment, can be like a materialistic, physical. But after that, you get in touch with your angels, your spirit guides. Hey, guys, I talked to the universe. I had, I'm waiting for this specific thing. So can you please help me with that? So what is my next step? What is my next perfect step? So let them guide you to go to the 7th floor. So they will guide you to the elevator. You will go to the elevator. They will show you the 7th sign. So, okay, 7th floor. You hit the 7th floor. So elevator will take you. And then you see the guy giving away bricks. So it's so much fun. So, all right, Blissa.
Oh, sorry. I think also like we can send mixed messages. Like we can say, oh, please support me and assist me in meeting that perfect compliment. I'm so ready, And then in a moment where we're not aware, we could be like saying in our minds, there is no person for me. Every time I meet somebody, it's always like, and then that's like what Ahmed's saying, like with the frequency, it's like you're sending a mixed message you get, really into a high frequency state. You ask for support. You ask for something to be manifest or to come into your life. But then when you're maybe tired, or, you like got some food on your shirt and you're walking around and you don't feel particularly attractive, and then you're telling a story inside that doesn't match that frequency. So then it's like a reset. It's like, oh, okay, you're saying that nobody is there for you, or that this is never going to come to be. And so it's like our awareness is so important for when we ask, and then we open the space for something to come in. Our awareness around how our mind can come in, or our emotions can come in and take us out of the frequency, like Ahmet had just said. It's a very important part of that process. Like as it unfolds, if we're always like often we hear like staying in the frequency as if it had already happened, saying like, oh, I'm already with the most wonderful person, or feeling that connection in my life. Part of what that is offering us is that to remain in that higher frequency where we attract what it is we truly desire, rather than, someone to play out another one of our wounds with, or another one of our patterns with. And then I wanted to say something about what Deborah had said. I find personally it's quite easy to ask for support when it comes to the angels and the guides and my high self. And then when it comes to something like she was talking about, where you're asking a friend for a favor that actually probably they would be delighted to fulfill. For me personally, I find that I'm quite challenged on that level. And I understood totally when she said that there was all this energy that came up around the idea of being like, I don't have a shower and I need one. And that means that if I were to get a shower, I need to ask somebody to allow me to take a shower. And it's an interesting dichotomy. I have no problem saying angels, guides, God, higher self, praying. I do it every day. And yet the other is really far more challenging.
Yeah, Bliss, I can see that. And so then it occurred to me that, because some of us have gotten more in touch easily with the higher realms, or angelic realm or spiritual guides or so forth, but yet with other people we're not. And so it's so perfect that this came up with Deborah with the water, right? It's so perfect that this occurred to you too with the 3D, because it makes me think too about what Emma said. So it's just another opportunity to raise our vibration, right? So like when you were saying earlier, somebody asked for something. Let's say you ask for, I want to have my, soulmate. And then the first thing in your mind goes, oh, but I don't deserve it. Oh, but I'm too old. I'm too fat. I'm too young. I'm too this. I'm too whatever. So then that drags us back into the 3D. So we're not vibrating at that higher level, like Ahmet said. But also with people in that 3D, it's this, it's also this whole thing. Oh, this person's they're going to be bothered because I ask them. They're going to be, they're going to.
I think that the key here is judgment. Yeah. Because in the higher realms, there's no judgment. Mm-hmm. And if we fear that our friends, because people are going to judge us, but then that's a fear of us judging ourselves. It's all because there is only us. There's only us, and everybody outside of us is a reflection of a part of us. So if I have issues asking, which I did, right, these emotions that came up, that's my judging myself. So which is interesting, because like I said, if the situation was reversed, I would be so happy to be able to help somebody. I mean, what I've done, I've been working on this, right? It's crazy that I've been working on something so like which would be considered quite, small. But I'm focusing very much on the joy that I'm bringing them. by the fact that they can do this small thing for me, which is a big thing for me and a small thing for them, and it's bringing them so much joy. So that's great, isn't it? So, and it's like you said before, it's about stories. I think it was Ahmed mentioned stories. You know, we have all these stories, but when we're talking in the higher realms, there's no stories, there's no ego, there's no trapped emotions, there's no judgment. You know, that's why it's easier to ask from them. And it's not the ego or the stories or the judgment of my friends that are offering me the showers. It's mine, my ego, my judgment, and my trapped emotions. So it's always interesting, isn't it, to see what comes up and to work through it. And then, like Ahmed said, I mean, it's not like I'm trying to manifest a shower. Well, I am trying to manifest a shower, but you know, the manifestation's quite easy on that one. But it's more about processing the emotions. But exactly like Ahmed just said, you know, I could wallow in that humiliation and despair, couldn't I, and stay on floor one, you know, or I can, you know, raise my frequency to the fact that I'm helping others help others. And bring joy to them, and you know, it gives me an opportunity to buy them perhaps a bathroom gift, you know, and I'm like, all these wonderful things, you know, that are going to come out of this, including me being clean. So I can just focus on that, which will take me to the 7th floor.
You know, and I also like that you're, you know, we believe, which I know all of us do, everything was always working out for us. We're always being led in the right place. Everything is for our highest good. Everything is for us. Then even this step that comes up, you know, that gives us the opportunity to clean our energy and even further is all perfect. But I also like that we're laughing about it. You know, we had to lighten up about this stuff. You know, I think receiving is a practice that maybe we're not all given easily for whatever reasons, but it's a practice. But as you're doing this practice, have fun with it, lighten up somewhat with it, and do remember that's one of the quickest ways too to start getting, you know, so you have these thoughts like, oh, I can't ask them to use their shower. What are they going to think? Judge me and whatever reason. But then you just turned it around and you made it, okay, I'm giving them joy, which is true. I think when we give people the opportunity to give to us and we receive, we're spreading joy to other people. Mm-hmm. I know, I love, you know, I love when I can give something to someone that's well received.
I think that receiving is something that's always happening for us. We're always receiving. It just depends on what frequency we're at, how we are, whether we're in feeling worthy of it or not. We attract to us with a resonance of what we're giving out. So if we're on the 7th floor, then we're going to be receiving the things that are available to those on the 7th floor. Just because that's what we're attracting with the infinite particles of creation that are always working and in resonance with how we're feeling and what we're doing and our life, what we really are feeling worthy of and what we are accepting as gifts to us.
We're certainly receiving in every second, aren't we? We're receiving, at a minimum, we're receiving air and breath in every second. I mean, yes. It's there at the base minimum. Of course, that's the only thing we can't live without. Honey, I have my phone on mute. Do not disturb. Mm-hmm. What is wrong with me? I keep muting by accident. Maybe I need to be quiet and let y'all speak. But I do, at the minimum, we're receiving. And if you can think about it, you are practiced at receiving, even at the base level, because you're receiving your breath and not even thinking about it. And is there any difference of receiving at that basic level and receiving at the 7th level?
No. It's all good.
Oh, I think so. There is, Dawn, because on the 7th level, everything's glorious and love and light and beautiful. You know, those things that you can buy on the 7th floor of the store, it's definitely outweighs what you can buy on the 1st floor, right?
Well, I think she means the gifts. You mean the gifts are different? I think Dawn means the process is the same. Is that? Yeah.
I was just thinking of the analogy of the shop or whatever it is, you know. I'm like, you know, maybe the objet d'art just get, I don't know, more abundant, more luxurious. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to motivate us to vibrate a little bit higher. That's all. I'm sure there are more
Yeah,
blessings
and
on the
it's
sixth floor,
worked. We've
fifth floor,
taken it.
fourth floor. Yeah.
Well, I would love to be vibrating on the 7th level at all time. I'd even like to be vibrating on the 5th level all the time.
Penthouse.
Sometimes we need those first floor items, you know, sometimes we need those third floor items. And then we track them in, you know, and there's really no judgment on that except for our own. This week I traded with a woman for a shamanic session, a 2-hour massage, and she's really good, really, really good. And I was telling my friend, and I might have brought this up because I think I set this up a couple of weeks ago. I might have brought it up on the last call, and where I had this friend, and he goes, "How could you possibly do a 2-hour I can't." To him that sounded torturous, and now let me tell you, it was glorious. But the woman who was giving the massage, I spoke with her afterwards, and of course, I was like in heaven. And I said, I have this friend who said, that it sounded awful to him to receive a 2-hour massage. And she said, there literally are people who can barely make it through a 1-hour massage. And she said, then of course, there's those people who could be there all day and just get up and use the restroom every once in a while. And then she was explaining that the kahunas in Hawaii, one of the ways that you knew that you were really able to lead was that how long could you lay there and receive in massage. And so I was like, really? That's interesting. I said, I could probably be a good kahuna. Because I really I could just let anything that came up, just let it go so that I could fully receive. And knowing, it's like all we have is this now moment. So if I can fully be present, I can go back and think of the massage and I can tell you, I was like, that was great. But I only experienced it in the moment, the now moments where it was happening. And so I really wanted to be as absolutely present as possible to just savor every second of it. And of course, that's how, life is, right? We only have now. This is the only thing that's actually going on for us. We're all here, so plugged in and in this beautiful group, even though we're in different locations. But the more we're here for this moment, this now, the more we can receive and bring that into the next moment. But also we need to let go at the same time, right? We don't want to just carry it along behind us and have this big old bag of all the past with us, right? We kind of want to just be like, here it is. Here it is. And I think someone was just saying, maybe it was Sandy, I was recently about an hour ago just teaching a Mia class, and there's so much of a receiving, transmitting that happens continuously. There's a pearl or something where I get this guidance to say something or to move a certain way or show something. And it's in and out. It's like a continuous flow of this transmitting and receiving. And that's a beautiful place to be, where it just is continue and being open to that flow, allowing it to just come through, really it creates a really wonderful experience for everyone, and certainly for me. But the people who say they have a wonderful experience with it, I think that's really a part of what's happening. Maybe that, and maybe that's what's happening even right now. always.
That actually sounds so lovely the way you describe that. It also reminded me of something you said last week, Blissa, when we were off the call afterwards about being distracted when you receive it. You can't be distracted and receive. And it made me think about when you're laying on, and by the way, I'd love a 2-hour massage. That would be awesome. But when you're distracted while you're having that, you're not fully experiencing it completely in the moment. So then you're not fully receiving. But I don't know if you wanted to say more about that distraction you brought up last week, Blissa, or you think like you're complete with that?
Well, in a sense, like that is, thank you. I know you wrote down a couple things that I said, and I was like, it was funny because you're like, I think I'm gonna write this down. And I thought, I wonder if it would be here or not, like usually what comes in is always a little bit different, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is basically that same thing. Like if we're present, we're capable of fully receiving the moment. And if we're distracted, like if you get a 2-hour massage and you're thinking about needing to replace the engine in your car, you just, it's like you basically let your body receive the massage. But the true offering, like what was available to you was like 7th floor all the way. And you were like letting it be a 1st floor experience. Mm-hmm. You're like, so the distractions can take us out of that present moment experience, and then, diminish what the receiving really is. And does somebody else want to kind of expound on that from their own perspective?
I agree, Blissa. You have to be in the now moment to actually receive all that there is to receive. It's only in the now. Perfect.
And I agree that form of that is you have to, or what's coming to me, I've heard so many, when we speak about the new energy, or there's a higher vibration, or we're moving into Aquarius, or love, love is all there is, or so a higher vibration, higher frequencies. And there was a lot leading, because we just had the equinox. Mm-hmm. So there were a lot of teachers and astrologers or people aware of it, recognizing that and having ceremonies or honoring it or participating in it. So I just remember over and over again, several people kind of said the same thing, where we have all this available energy, but it can go right by you if you don't claim it. You have to, in some form or another, claim it, recognize it, consciously participate in it, or so. I don't even know the depth and breadth of all of that, but it was just funny when that person said, it's really true. It's all here. It's the highest vibration ever, but it can just go right by you if you don't claim it.
And claiming can be as simple as just being, or it is as being present in a moment and then fully allowing and receiving what's there for us.
Yeah. Awareness.
And bringing it into your body. Like claiming is a really important part of our journey. Like everything that you experience, that's like, all the patterns that we play out, mm-hmm. all the stories that we run, like little hamster wheels inside our storyline experience. It's actually assisting us in like really seeing and growing the gifts of who we are. But until we claim that, like until we know that we're worthy beyond any doubt, like I am so worthy of this breath, of this experience, of this life. And there isn't, it's intrinsic. There is no question to that worthiness. Then I'll still play out this little pattern that goes, oh, but see, you weren't worthy right there, or however it is. But when you claim it and you claim it and you claim it and you bring it into your body, into your cells, into the way you walk in the world, then you're fully there for it. You're fully able to receive it in every moment. And of course, I'm quite certain I can say this in this group, we all know it'll just shine right back at you. That's what you're going to see. That's what will be reflected. So the claiming is very important. Really good point, Sharon. Definitely.
I totally agree. I just love the way you said that. You've got to claim it. And when you first said it, I was thinking the word I often use is harness. I often use the word harness. You've got to harness the energy. That kind of implies that you have to use it. And then I thought, okay, I mean, what words are so limiting sometimes, aren't they? But then, like Blissa said, I mean, it's amazing. To bring it into the cells of your body, you know what it does? It brings it. I'm a big fan of affirmations, words, of course, because we have thought, word, deed. And so to claim it, to exclaim, to claim is to say it. So I think there's a connection there with words as well. I am, the power of I am, and just affirming it. That's claiming it, isn't it? Because I was thinking, how does one claim, and then I was thinking, okay, it's as easy as saying I am, isn't it? And it's putting that vibration, it's putting that consciousness, that non-physical consciousness, into vibrational word form, which is then going to put it into, well, if you act as well, I mean, that's what's going to put it into creation. So yeah, claim it. Yeah, perfect. I love it. Thanks,
It's like
Sharon.
there's layers, right? Like there's the spirit energy of the claiming, and then there's the mental and emotional level where we're like, I am. And then there's the sensory, there's like, I like to use the word, I love harnessing, but the anchoring, it's like I'm anchoring it in to my felt sense experience. And I like to use movement for that. And that, I like to dance, but say it's like taking a walk or sitting on the earth or breathing it in. It's like bringing it all the way to the physical form. Like all of those layers. It's all like we bring in the light of it, the codes of it. We bring it into the way we emote, or like we can like feel the worthiness. We say it, like you're pointing out, Deborah. It's like really important to tell a new story, and we want to put it in our physical bodies and really bring it to our body, our experience of walking on the planet. It changes the way you walk when you really bring that claiming to a like cellular level.
That's perfect, Blissa. I love the way you've done that in the layers. I like looking at the layers as well. And I love the way you said in the spiritual layer, because of course that's what you were saying before, the knowing that you are worthy. It's that knowing that you are worthy is at the highest level, really, isn't it? And then it goes through the mental, of course, because you have a belief, I am worthy, I am deserving. And then you have an emotion, because you can say the affirmation without believing it, right? Which is what a lot of people do in the beginning. So then you've got to do the emotion, and you've got to put the right emotion with it, and really feel that. And then, of course, we have to, like I said, thought, word, deed. You then have to take physical action, however that may be, to put it into physicality. Sorry, I've repeated exactly what you've just said, but it's like how the children have to repeat it to make sure they've really understood it. So thank you for giving me the time to do that.
No, it's good. And yes, it's all perfect. It's good. Because people hear it different ways. So when we restate it in different ways.
Blissa, I love when you said that it shines back at you. It was so perfect. So perfect.
Those are perfect words. Shines back at me.
Another concept I'm playing with is to say I am the generator of the inner, I am the source. So I am the generator of it.
Of it.
I'm the source, or I am the generator. And it kind of seems like I want to change this kind of a little bit, but where I'm right now, I start with I'm the generator from nothing. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to use an external source to generate the feeling or the vibration, because that's what I'm accustomed to. So I'm really trying to go where I generate it using that, just the knowing, that I am the code, the light, the feeling, but without so much dependency on having to use a memory or, an external.
More within than without.
Yeah. And right now I'm using the phrase, okay, I'm going to generate this from nothing. But I think nothing could be a very sacred or all, because it's nothing is everything, the space. So maybe that's actually a good word. I went listening to, and someone said equinox and a little ceremony or a little way to remember, because we look to nature and it is spring in certain hemispheres. So the renewal and the stepping forth and the coming out of hibernation, and to use Deborah Jane's word, to harness nature, to go out and celebrate. So the teacher was saying, the example was this, but then they said, but where we are now is you say I am nature. So you don't go out and relate to nature and find nature and harness nature. I mean, that'll be all, but you are nature. So it's just that may be 12th floor.
Well, I think being I am is certainly, maybe a 12th floor, but yes, the I am is part of them.
And that really reminds us, right, that we're not separate from the earth. We're not separate. I am nature. There's been kind of a consensual reality that's sort of divorced us from nature, and what it's created is a lot of sort of raping and pillaging, or so destructive behavior. And when we can come back to the remembrance that we are not separate from the earth, we are not separate from nature, we're not separate from spirit. Or the word you were saying, nothing, or I liked, in my mind it went no thing, or the void. If
void,
the void is it's pure source creation energy, and all those pieces kind of came up as you were speaking, Sharon. I love what you're bringing. Thank you.
Me too. Yeah, I like that. From nothing, we know what you mean by that. That means it's all us. We're creating. We're the creators.
Yes.
We love that. We love that. So and it is a great reminder too for those of us that do tend to look at the outside for so many things, and that we're the creator, and then we receive as well.
The nothingness also has no stories with it.
Yeah, and no judgment, like Deborah said.
Right. It is the oneness. It's beautiful, Sharon.
This has all been very beautiful. I was going to ask about affirmations, but we're pretty much running on our 45-minute time. Did anybody has anything specifically? I actually had an affirmation I wanted to maybe read, and then anything else anyone has had. I am worthy of receiving physical and heavenly gifts and magic in each and every moment. That was one of the things I wrote as a reminder for me as an affirmation to get me back focused and less distracted so I can receive.
My favorite affirmation at the moment I was trying to keep it as vague as possible because I'm very aware that if we're too specific with our human mind, we're actually limiting the miracles. Because I think I said to you last week, it doesn't seem like it with no water and stuff, but I feel I'm creating dreams and miracles, dreams that I didn't even know I had. You know what I mean? It's kind of really amazing. But my favorite affirmation at the moment is I am ready and willing to fulfill my potential. It's as simple as that. And when I say it, I think of myself as a multidimensional being. So I'm ready and willing to fulfill my potential on all the energy levels that Blissa and I were talking about. It's actually, when you affirm that, I've been given so many opportunities lately and challenges that have come up because I'm sure it's pushing me. I'm creating it to push me to my potential. You know, because we're so much more than we ever dreamt we are. So it's a powerful affirmation. That's what I'm saying. It's a powerful affirmation. I'm ready and willing to fulfill my potential.
And mine is what I do. You know, we have the opportunity. If you make your little list, or you have you're going somewhere, or you have a prior, we just have all of these options or choices or in our lives, and I repeat as often as I can, and what I do is I just say the question. I say, and what has this got to do with the agenda of my soul?
I actually, I have a bunch of them. I would say though, the one that I kind of like, that just sort of plays continuously, is I allow all that I am, which is, you know, it's receiving affirmation. And I use a lot of the affirmations that the council, you know, galore, I have everything I need and more, everything I want and more. I am everything I need and more. Everything is always working out for me. Lots of that comes up for me too. But Deborah, your point of bringing it, like you're saying that your affirmation has been very powerful. And I like that a lot. But perhaps part of what makes it so powerful is that you are experiencing it on all those levels. And like, I know for me personally, when I do that, you know, when I'm bringing in the affirmation, sometimes it's just like it's like something playing along, and I say, you know, I will say it all the time. But when you sink into it and really receive the full breadth of what is available in it, like how you described you're saying that one, I think that is probably part of why it's so powerful. That's just kind of what I'm feeling.
Well, as usual, this has been lovely. So thank you all so much for joining on this. Next week, I think we're talking about focus. So we'll have a 1-part session on focus. So I guess this concludes part 2 of receiving. Thank you everyone so much.